When it comes to some of the best value smartphones, TECNO and Infinix are surely some of the go-to brands for some of you folks out there. Two of their newest budget offerings are the TECNO Spark 30 and the Infinix HOT 50 Pro Plus. While both of these phones carry a sub 9,000 peso price range, which one of these is the overall better pick? Hey everyone, this is Tech, and this is our comparison review of the TECNO Spark 30 versus the Infinix HOT 50 Pro Plus. So let's dive right in. Looking at the phone's exterior, you'll immediately notice the stark difference in terms of aesthetics. The TECNO Spark 30, at least in this Bumblebee edition, definitely screams gaming phones, showcasing the character's iconic black and yellow motif. It should also come in other colorways if you prefer something a bit more elegant and not really into the Transformers vibe. From its rear protrudes a circular camera island that may look like it has 3 sensors, but actually there's only one. For an added layer of protection, the Spark 30 comes with a slightly stronger IP64 rating for dust and splash resistance. As for the Infinix HOT 50 Pro Plus, it has a more subtle design complemented by a left-aligned camera array. Taking a closer look, you'll see the cameras are squarish in shape, and you can also see its outline has this knurled edge design, which does look a bit fancy. The phone also comes with dust and splash resistance, but only has an IP54 rating, which is a bit lower than the IP64 rating of the TECNO. But what I really like about both of these smartphones, especially in terms of ergonomics, are their very slim profiles. The Spark 30 only measures 7.7mm thin, and the HOT 50 Pro Plus is even thinner at a mere 6.9mm. Nice. Both of these phones are fairly lightweight as well, but I gotta say, I personally prefer the minimalist look of the Infinix HOT 50 Pro Plus more. I also like its curved sides, which provide me more of a comfortable grip, unlike the flat frame of the Spark 30. So in the design department, I think it's just fair to give this round to the Infinix HOT 50 Pro Plus, thanks to its ultra slim profile along with a more ergonomic minimalist design. Speaking of curved sides, that design choice also extends to the display of the Infinix HOT 50 Pro Plus. This phone sports a 6.78-inch Full HD Plus 3D curved AMOLED display running at a smooth 120Hz refresh rate. It also has a peak brightness of 1300 nits. Furthermore, Infinix also added Corning Gorilla Glass 5 on top for some level of drop resistance. While the Spark 30 has the same display size at 6.78 inches, it only uses an IPS LCD panel, which is honestly quite a bummer considering it has the same price point as the competition. To add insult to injury, the Spark 30's display only runs at 90Hz refresh rate and has a lower peak brightness of only 800 nits. As you would expect, the viewing difference is much more enjoyable on the Infinix HOT 50 Pro Plus with deep blacks, vivid colors, and wider viewing angles. Both phones do have dual stereo speakers for immersive audio, whereas the Spark 30 gets Dolby Atmos support and the Infinix phone has its audio tuned by JBL. As for biometrics, the HOT 50 Pro Plus features an under-display fingerprint sensor, meaning it's an optical one, while the Spark 30 is left with a side-mounted one, which is found on the power button. In this key area, it is certain that the HOT 50 Pro Plus has the edge, mainly because of its curved AMOLED screen. While I personally prefer the flat screen and flat frame aesthetic, the combination of curved edges and the perks of an OLED panel definitely makes the HOT 50 Pro Plus stand out a lot more. Therefore, it secures another point this round. On the subject of processing power, I'm afraid the Infinix HOT 50 Pro Plus also takes this round, and for good measure. While both phones are equipped with Helio chipsets from MediaTek, the HOT 50 Pro Plus packs a newer, more powerful MediaTek Helio G100 chipset. On the other hand, the Spark 30 features the MediaTek Helio G91, which is still relatively new, technically speaking, since it came out in the first half of 2024. But based on our testing, the HOT 50 Pro Plus showed better results across all of our benchmark tests. In Antutu, it garnered almost double the score of its competition at over 446,000 points, which is impressive considering the price point. For reference, the Spark 30 only managed to score 280,000 points in the same test, and the same goes in the Antutu storage test, with the HOT 50 Pro Plus having a higher overall score and faster read and write times, suggesting faster loading times for your apps and games. But of course, I'm sure the rest of you want to check out the benchmarks, and you can see it right here. In terms of configurations, both of these phones come with 8GB of RAM and 256GB of expandable storage, which is always a plus in our book. That means you have micro SD slots. Despite the numbers, for casual use, you'd barely notice any difference. As for gaming, both phones can handle low-demanding titles just fine, but expect them to struggle a bit more when playing graphic-intensive titles, especially the Spark 30. Still, in terms of raw power and speed, the Infinix HOT 50 Pro Plus provides a more reliable performance, giving it a 3-point lead in this comparison. Can the Spark 30 still keep up? Well, we're about to see. Now let's move on to the cameras of both of these phones. Both phones do perform surprisingly well, with the TECNO Spark 30 featuring a 64-megapixel main shooter, but it hasn't exactly mentioned any info about the other adjacent lenses you see here. As for the Infinix HOT 50 Pro Plus, it sports a 50-megapixel main shooter paired with the famous 2-megapixel depth sensor. Taking a look at our sample shots, both phones output nice photos that are sharp and have good color reproduction and even a good dynamic range. While in low light, there is obvious noise from both phones, but it's still somewhat acceptable. The HOT 50 Pro Plus adds a bit more saturation in most shooting scenarios, although it doesn't go overboard either. For capturing videos, both phones can shoot up to 2K resolution at 30 FPS from the rear. Video capture won't be these phones' strongest suits though, since they lack any stabilization support. So overall in the camera department, each phone can hold its own. It's surely good news that we're starting to see more entry-level devices get better and better in one of the most crucial factors in choosing a smartphone, which is the camera. And with that said, both of these phones take a point this round. Another crucial factor is, of course, the battery life of both these phones. Despite both phones packing a 5000 mAh unit, it appears the HOT 50 Pro Plus has longer battery life. In our PC Mark test, the HOT 50 Pro Plus managed to last 13 hours and 53 minutes. That's almost 2 hours longer than the Spark 30's 11 hours and 7 minutes runtime. It's a similar story with our video loop test, and this time the HOT 50 Pro Plus outlasted the competition by a huge mark. It lasted almost an entire day at 23 hours and 8 minutes of battery life. Meanwhile, the Spark 30 still gets a decent 13 hours and 47 minutes of battery life. Perhaps not only does the AMOLED panel help for saving on power consumption, the HOT 50 Pro Plus also has its chipset to thank for its impressive battery life. The MediaTek Helio G100 is built on a much more efficient 6nm process. That's a significant advantage over the Helio G91's 12nm process node. Furthermore, the HOT 50 Pro Plus gets a faster 33-watt charging rate as compared to the Spark 30's 18-watt charging rate. So with that said, the Infinix HOT 50 Pro Plus secures another point in this comparison. Now at this point, the outcome of this comparison is pretty much settled, but we still have two more topics to talk about. On the software side of things, both phones run Android 14 out of the box with the Spark 30 and HOT 50 Pro Plus skinned with iOS 14 and XOS 14.5 respectively. Both Android skins are, well, acceptable by my standards, but the overall look and feel could do with some improvements. Infinix pledged up to Android 15 support and 2 years of security patches for the HOT 50 Pro Plus. However, as for the TECNO, there is no info as to how long they would give software support for the Spark 30. Connectivity-wise, both of these phones are capped to 4G LTE, but they do have all of the essentials, including NFC. Interestingly though, despite the slim profile, the Spark 30 throws in a 3.5mm audio jack for wired audio listening. Although that's not enough to level with the competition, as I would personally prefer companies to be more transparent on software updates that will offer for their devices. So I'm on the side of the Infinix HOT 50 Pro Plus for this round, but what do you think? Should it get a point for that? When it comes to entry-level offerings, both the TECNO Spark 30 and the Infinix HOT 50 Pro Plus deliver serious value for their price. While the Spark 30 shines with its unique look, its rare headphone jack, and surprisingly good cameras, the Infinix HOT 50 Pro Plus steals the show with its stunning AMOLED display, faster performance, longer battery life, and a clear roadmap for software updates. Coming in at 8,499 pesos, the Infinix HOT 50 Pro Plus is definitely the better pick, offering sleek aesthetics, solid performance, and future-proofed software. But if you're vibing with a cool design and solid basics, then the TECNO Spark 30 might just spark your interest, retailing for 8,999 pesos. Ultimately though, the choice is yours to make. So, are you Team TECNO or Team Infinix in this comparison? Do you agree with our verdict? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And of course, if you enjoyed this video or found it informative, do drop a like and subscribe to watch more. Also, don't forget to follow us on our social media platforms. That's Facebook, Instagram, X, and TikTok. And of course, visit yugatech.com to stay updated with the latest tech news and reviews. Also, if you want to read our full reviews on both of these phones, they are now live on the Yugatech website. That will give you more information about these phones and what their strengths and weaknesses are. Anyway, this has been Jose, and once again, I'll see you guys next time.